for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack making backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby May. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
Once Scar starts saying, you know, I'ma kill you, you know, you DOA.
Police are searching for the two men who shot Matthew Allen once in the head yesterday afternoon. He died at the hospital. Foxy Brown says she grew up with the 39-year-old. Police say he has a record of over 20 arrests for charges that range from robbery and assault to rape and kidnapping.
Michael.
One statement and leave us alone.
Stay on the side. 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 Go in.
Talk to us. What I know about her leaving is from what I know. Totally different looks.
They think that.
Or if they buy it for you.
There he comes. He's American.
How you doing? I'm just gonna make a statement because I can't answer no question. I'm just gonna make a statement. All right. I came here today just to tell the truth. So hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%. The charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time we'll start to see that. Thank you very much.
What's up with your relationship with Jennifer? You got it all down pat.
Okay. Buddy.
A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York.
As the world watches Diddy fight what might be the most critical legal battle of his career, the weight of the allegations against him grow heavier by the day. The hip-hop mogul, once celebrated for his rise from the streets of Harlem to global stardom, now faces allegations that could dismantle everything he has built. His life, his reputation, and empire are all on the line in ways that the public could never have imagined. But for Diddy, it wasn't the first time he found himself in a fight for his life. Over 2 decades ago, the stakes were just as high, if not higher, though the battleground was in the courtroom. That night would come on a cold December night in 1999 with a gangster from Brooklyn.
I don't know how reliable, media sources could be, because again, with me, you would think that there was no one in the club with guns, there was no one else firing. You would think that, I just pulled my gun out and started, blicking off, and that certainly wasn't the case, Somebody certainly drew a weapon, and I shot that person, and the ricochets, in my opinion, came from somebody else. And there's no proof, there's no ballistic evidence that links me, to any of the victims, because none of the bullets came out. But I definitely shot the guy that was trying to shoot me. I shot him in the shoulder.
27-year-old Julius Jones of Brooklyn was in Club New York on December 27th and in the way of a stray bullet.
I ain't had no time to duck. It just hit me. I felt, the burn sensation on my shoulder. I just dropped instantly to the floor.
The next thing he remembers after the bullet pierced his shoulder,
people screaming, running for the door to the exit, trying to, get out the way.
Now, with limited use of his arm and a lot of pain, Jones' attorney Bill Schweitzer filed the first civil lawsuit against rapper Sean Puffy Combs and the nightclub. Combs and his girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were inside the popular Midtown dance club when an argument broke out and gunshots were fired.
You know what I mean? And that's because, after threatening us, after telling us they was going to kill us, after saying they was going to pop our head off, Scar, who's dead now, he, is a known, street guy, I knew those guys. So I know when they start talking crazy, that's not just talk, you know what I mean? So when I see somebody go for their ratchet, you know, it was, you know, kill or be killed.
And my prayer to God.
All right, so Sean,
yeah.
When that happened,
yeah.
when that incident you allegedly did that,
yeah.
Did you feel as if you were in fear for your life, or was you protecting your friends?
I was in fear for my life.
What would make you think, in top of the world, you in there with Puff,
because Scar, listen, no. Scar, who was the instigator, I know Scar from Brooklyn. Those are my guys. I didn't really have a problem with them. That wasn't my beef. That was Puff's issue. They had a problem with Puff for whatever reason. I don't know what their problem was with Puff. I'm not saying that it was a legitimate problem. But
so
that wasn't my problem.
What I'm saying to you is,
Scar, Nino, and the entire Brooklyn crowd was in Club New York. I seen them, it was all love. But when they started arguing with Puff, I know what these Brooklyn guys are capable of. I know what Scar's capable of. I knew what Nino was capable of. I know what happens once these arguments start. You know, when these arguments start, you know, it becomes a problem. I'm just trying to charge my phone.
What I'm saying to you, Sean.
Once Scar starts saying, you know, I'm gonna kill you, you know, you DOA, you know, once he starts talking crazy, yeah, I became afraid for my life. I know what happens, you know, once he says, you know, it's about to happen, you know, it's about to happen. And I seen somebody reach for a gun, and I reached for my weapon, and I defended my friends and myself, because once he starts firing, once whoever else pulls out a gun starts firing, it doesn't stop there.
So Sean, you don't think, Sean, you don't think I'm over here with Puffy? There's two ways to think of it. I'm over here with Puffy, I'm over here with J-Lo, the biggest, richest stars in the world. This shit gonna be on CNN? Or do you just react at the time like, yo, I got it?
I'm thinking about saving my life. I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6.
Mm-hmm. And how did Puffy take it at the moment? Did he take it as, yo, you fucking my shit up doing that? Or, thank you for saving my life?
You know, I think for him, it was more, you know, he's a corporation. And he's just thinking about the corporation. So obviously, you know, something like that affects the corporation terribly. But at the time, I was just thinking life or death. You know, so, we didn't have an opportunity for him to say thank you for saving my life, for saving Jennifer's life, you know, for saving all our lives, because he was thinking about, you know, the corporation, and you know, that put the corporation.
Do you think he thinks you jumped the gun? Do you think he thinks you jumped the gun?
You know, you'd have to ask him that. You could ask me, do I think I jumped the gun? And my answer is absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And so now you in trial, one of the most legendary trials in the world.
Yeah.
You fighting for your life, Puffy fighting, Wolf fighting, and we ain't gotta go into detail, but I feel like you felt like the other lawyers was like, yo, my guy ain't do it, maybe that guy did it. That's the word on the street. That's
absolutely what it was, you know, and you know, Puff apologized. He did apologize to me for that, you know, when we met in Paris. And, you know, he did say, you know, he could have handled it better, but he was under a lot of pressure. from the lawyers, to throw me under the bus. And that's exactly what, Benjamin Brafman and Johnny Cochran and the entire Dream Team, that was their position, because again, Puff is a corporation.
In Canarsie, Brooklyn, that I had never seen that. But now I look out the window after I got shot by Puffy, and all of these SUVs blacked out on the corners and on the blocks of my house. Why? Why? When the district attorney's office notifies me and my mother that they got and my attorney confidential information from an informant saying that there's a bag on my head, and there was also a bag on Scar's head, what should I do? Sit there and wait for them to come get me?
Brooklyn rapper Foxy Brown tells us the man killed in a deadly double shooting in East Flatbush is a friend of hers. Police are searching for the two men who shot Matthew Allen once in the head yesterday afternoon. He died at the hospital. Foxy Brown says she grew up with the 39-year-old. Police say he has a record of over 20 arrests for charges that range from robbery and assault to rape and kidnapping. The 40-year-old delivery man was also shot, caught in the crossfire. He was working when a bullet hit him in the foot. He's expected to be okay.
During the trial for the 1999 Club New York shooting, tensions escalated beyond the courtroom when allegations of murder plots would surface. Diddy, then Puffy's defense team, led by attorney Ben Brafman, would reveal to the court that they had uncovered a plot to assassinate Puffy during the trial, and this plot involved Scar. According to Brafman, a court officer outside the Manhattan courthouse had observed a man using a walkie-talkie to monitor Puffy's movement, including his car, security detail, and exit strategies. This man was later identified as someone with an extensive criminal record connected to Scar. At the same time, an alleged informant would report to the defense that this individual was part of a larger conspiracy to carry out a hit on Puffy. Brafman shared this information with the court, detailing the murder plot was in motion against his client. Simultaneously, prosecutor Matthew Bragados introduced the allegation that Puffy himself had placed a $50,000 bounty on Scar's head after the Club New York shooting. According to Bragados, Scar confronted Puffy following the incident, asking, "What's up with y'all trying to shoot us?" To where Puffy would allegedly respond, "I'm going to have my people take care of it," and offered to connect Scar with his bodyguard, Anthony Wolf Jones, to resolve the situation. However, Scar never reached out to Wolf, and during a subsequent encounter, Puffy questioned why. When Scar would reply, "I'm not your bitch to be calling your man. You could get in touch with me." Not long after, one of Puffy associates approached Scar with an ominous warning that Puffy wanted him dead. The associate further explained that Scar would be contacted again under the play of a $250,000 bribe to not testify in court, but the alleged real intention was to kill Scar at the arranged meeting. Now, I'm not sure if it was the threat, the bribe, or the code, but Scar wouldn't testify against Puffy, with a lot of people saying it was out of fear that Puffy or someone in his circle would retaliate against Scar or his family, although the defense team would attribute Scar's reluctance to testify to a lack of immunity for unrelated weapons and assault charges. Puff will ultimately be acquitted from all charges stemming from the 1999 Club New York shooting. Fast forward about a decade after that high-profile trial, Roger Key, a large-scale Bronx drug trafficker from the Cortlandt Avenue area, made famous by basketball phenom turned drug kingpin Carlton Hines, would become entangled in a violent plot. His criminal activities would extend to ordering a murder for hire against a rival dealer, Terry Harrison, known as T-Money. Harrison, a key figure in a competing drug operation, became a target in Key's ruthless efforts to eliminate the competition and take total control over the territory. And according to the U.S. government, simultaneously, a similar plot was being planned for Matthew Scar Allen. After being painted as the instigator of the high-profile Club New York shooting, he would become the target of a revenge-driven murder conspiracy orchestrated by his girlfriend, Aisha Babylona, along with Roger Key. Babylona, who would accuse Scar of abuse, conspired with Key to have him killed, and they would hire two men, Jaya Kennedy and Jose Caparita, to carry out the assassination. The first attempt on Scar's life would occur on November 16, 2011. In this instance, Scar would be lucky. Jose Caparita, under the instructions from Kennedy and Babylona, would mistakenly shoot an innocent bystander who resembled Scar. The attempt was a failure. However, it wouldn't deter the group to continue their deadly plan. And less than 18 days later, on December 4th, 2011, according to the government, the co-conspirators would successfully ambush Scar outside of the Footprints nightclub in the Flatbush section of Brooklyn. After the news of his death, Foxy Brown would take to her Twitter account to post a tweet naming Scar as one of Brooklyn's finest. Several years after Scar's death, Roger Key would be sentenced to life plus 30 years in prison, while Scar's alleged ex-girlfriend, Asia, would receive 60 months, the equivalent to 5 years. Kennedy and Caparita would also be convicted, though their sentences wouldn't be disclosed. When all the talk was going on about the Club New York shooting a little bit after Christmas and right before New Year's in 1999, the media would paint a picture of how it all escalated to gunshots over a spilled drink. Now, with any of us that ever lived in an urban city, we know that's quite possible, but I was always skeptical that something like that could happen involving a multi-million-dollar mogul. And when I would talk about it with my homeboys, we would always be under the impression that it had to be something different or something bigger. And when you hear the dialogue between Puffy and Scar after the shooting, it sounds like some familiarity, or it definitely don't sound like the conversation of a nigga you just got in a bang out with, even though they claim Sean was the alleged shooter. And not to immediately go into some street shit, I personally always thought that, me being in Brooklyn, I knew how I felt. I always thought it was just some Brooklyn niggas mad about the situation with Biggie, especially with it still being fresh right around that time. And if anybody remember the controversy surrounding Sean when he first came out, that might lend some evidence to that. But now that my block is the world, if y'all was around and could step back into that time, y'all let me know what y'all thought it was about, or did y'all just believe what the media said it was? And to all my people in Flatbush, matter of fact, Brooklyn, if y'all had any interactions with Scar, y'all get in the comment box and y'all speak on it. Y'all definitely tapping downstairs. Let me know what cities we need to go to, what stories we need to tell, what we missed, what we got wrong, all of that. Y'all make sure y'all hit me directly. Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. And until the next play, y'all know how we rocking. Shades Popalot. Salute the almighty mob.